Back in Tuscaloosa, Georgia leads Alabama after one rotation, and Suzanne Jacqueline in her 25th season at Georgia looking on. She's won 8 national titles and 15 Southeastern Conference championships, but maybe a little weak at the vault this season.
For the first time in years, they lack a little depth here. They graduated Ashley Kupets and Kelsey Erickson, both great vaulters, but hey, keep in mind, they have Courtney Kupets, the current national champion on vault.
And it's going to be Tiffany Tolnay, the regional vault champion, up first.
The typical Yurchenko layout full, steps out on the landing. Looks like she piked down a little bit near the end of that rotation. That increases the rotation, something she didn't need to do here. Tiffany's capable of actually doing a 1.5 twist on this event, something we may see later in the season. There's a look at that big step on the landing, at least a 10th, maybe 2/10 deduction.
Yeah, you see it reflected in the score, 9.775 back to the bars, and Alabama is due up, and Kayla Hoffman, one of their freshman studs on this event, as we take a look at their lineup, led off by Caitlin White.
And of course, Alabama's missing a huge score from Taryn Humphrey, the 2007 national champion and Olympic medalist on this event. We mentioned her injury to her back. But Kassi Price is ranked number 2 in the nation here.
And Sarah Patterson looking on. She said that with Taryn not in this competition, it's a good chance for freshmen to step up, and here's one of them here.
And I've watched Kayla closely in warm-up, and she has so much potential. She has the ability to be one of the top all-arounders in the country. Giant half, giant full and a half. Oh, big save there and a big arch. 1 to 2/10 deduction, but she holds on and keeps the connection to her Tkachev. The giant full, bail to handstand. Great job in her handstand positions. A little short on that one. Strong swing into double layout, dismount, tiny hop back on the landing. Great save, though.
And let's take another look at that save.
Well, I think what happened here is maybe a little extra adrenaline. She's looking to take this 1.5 turn all the way up to the top of the bar and finish it in a vertical position. And she almost overdoes it here. She's almost coming over the bar too much. She uses her strength to pull it back. And she does not fall off, which would have been a 5/10 deduction versus a 1 or 2/10 deduction.
A 9.8 the score. Back to the vault, and Courtney Kupets.
We've seen many Yurchenko fulls tonight. Courtney does a different style vault. You're going to see a twist in the first part of the vault. Half on front pike. Oh yeah, that's why she is the national champion on this event. Great execution, technique, and fantastic landing. To find a blind landing like this, it's the result of a great air awareness and many numbers in training. She has no view of the mat before the feet hit. That's why it's called a blind landing. You just need to know where you are.
Look at that score, almost perfect, 9.95. Number 1 versus number 4 continues. Alabama will have their top all-arounder, Morgan Dennis, on bars when we come back.
The way. Call 1-866-690-3675 or visit Verizon.com. Isn't it time you switched? Verizon. It's the network.
Back at Tuscaloosa, the kids enjoying the second rotation. We head back to the bars, and Jacqueline Shealy, who is just a sophomore, but she tore her ACL on her first ever event as a freshman. It was the bars, though. She finished with a score, Lori, of a 9.775.
See that she is still wearing a knee brace. Of course, this is one of those events that you can still train even with an ankle or a knee injury. Giant full Tkachev, well done. A little short on her handstands throughout this routine so far. Back down to the low bar. Athletes are required to do an element from high to low and low to high. Better job of that last handstand and the dismount, toe on front with a half turn. Great landing. Nice job.
Her father was a 2-time national champion quarterback for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
So most definitely a Tide tradition in her family. Let's take a look at that release element. She does a great job of turning it over, almost finishing it with her stomach facing the ground, and the dismount, toe on front half. Now, Jacqueline replaced the injured Taryn Humphrey in this lineup and did a fantastic job.
A career best 9.8 for the sophomore from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Now Katie Heenan up next on vault. Her top score 9.9 this season in 2008.
Georgia needs a strong landing here. They've given away a few tenths on their landings, except of course for Courtney Kupets' nailed vault. Yuchenko level, and again a hop back on the landing. These are just some of the small details that they will be working on over the next few weeks in the gym, really trying to nail those landings and get every tenth possible as we head into those final weeks before the SEC championships. She comes off a little bit flat and long, and that increases her rotation, and she has that momentum building backwards on the landing instead of dropping into a secure landing.
9.775 the score as we take a look at the vault for the Gym Dogs, and they finished below 49 as well.
Well, Courtney Kupets was stunning, but 3 or 4 athletes did give away a tenth or so on each of their landings.
That'll bring up Kassi Price for the Crimson Tide on bars, a second-team All-American on this apparatus a year ago.
He's ranked number 2 in the nation on bars right now. Love this first release element. It's called a Hindorf, and it's bold, big, and daring. Creep to handstand, bail to handstand. Toe circle, back up to the high bar. Doing a pretty good job with her handstand work. Giant full. Should gain some speed and momentum. The dismounts a double layout, great landing.
A great routine. She's already hit a 9.95 this season, and I would have to assume this routine will be very close.
The team loves it, and the crowd is going wild here. I'm sure the score will be big too. There is that huge release element called a Hindorf. It's a free hip circle release, then you counter rotate and regrasp the bar. Well done on the dismount. Of course, it's high, 2 rotations in the straight body, and a good landing.
Kassi Price finishes things off with a 9.95 for the Crimson Tide on bars, who chop into that big Georgia lead. They have a 49.15 as a team on the bars.
You can see the consistency there, not only in the execution of their routines, but the scores as well, counting 4 9.8s and a 9.95.
We have completed 2 rotations here in Tuscaloosa, Alabama, between number 1 and number 4 in the country. We're halfway home. We'll have the beam and the floor when we come back.